Hey, what's going on with y'all good people? I want to welcome you to the Melanated Travelers Podcast, the podcast that shatters stereotypes that takes you on a captivating journey through the eyes of people of color as they explore the world. Join us as we challenge the misconception that travel is only for a certain demographic. Embark on a vibrant adventure with each episode as we share stories that showcase the rich experiences and perspectives of melanated travelers. From the banks of Cartagena to the mountains of Bali, the Melanated Traveler paints the picture of a vivid image of the global journey, one story at a time. Hosted by yours truly, Aston R. Williams, a podcast for the people. Welcome. Hey, what's going on, you guys? I want to welcome you back to the Melanated Travelers Podcast and episode number 13, right? So we in season 2. We doing some things over here. And for those that haven't had a chance to listen to season 1, please do so. For anybody that's been vibing with the podcast, be sure to leave a review. Be sure to support. I'll leave the support link here, if you want to support the channel and you like what we're doing. But the thing about this podcast and what we call ourselves the New Green Book. We call ourselves the #1 travel podcast in the world because we love to get people of the African diaspora inspired. We like to advocate for travel. We like to advocate that you should get out and explore the world. So I'm looking forward to having this guest on. I got a special guest in the building. I have Miss Alicia the Wandor. How are you doing today? So just to give y'all, you good? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm relaxed. I'm good.
Good. Perfect. So I just want to give y'all a little background about her. She's a traveler. She's been all over the world, guys. And when I start naming some of these countries, your mouth is going to drop. She's a well-traveled queen, and she's traveled all over the world. She's an adventurer as well. Just a lover of new experiences, and new cultures. And she loves to inspire people to do the same, and that's why I got her on here. Her content is absolutely amazing. We'll give a chance for her to share her social handles later in the show. But I just want her to know, just like everybody that I get on the show, I actually am a fan before I even get somebody on. Your content is absolutely amazing. You've been to some amazing places, and I wanted to make sure that I give you your flowers in the beginning of the episode, so everybody knows that. Definitely. So anything else that you want to share? You want to share with the people?
Born Jamaican, so I always represent for the Caribbean folks. And like you said, I'm just a lover of life and curiosity. Seeing the world.
Shout out to Jamaica. And you already know, don't laugh. You already know what I'm gonna say. Mostly Jamaica is attached to a few things in the West. One is Hostel got a group back. You got a lot of group trips that go there, a lot of women that go there, group trips. Maybe they're trying to find Winston. I don't know. I told this to Tani in a previous episode. I've never been to Jamaica yet. Hopefully one day I get there, whether I go solo or whether I go with, a potential partner or significant other. We'll see. We will see.
You gotta make it there.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start off with the thought process, the why. Like, you've been to, how many countries have you been to?
Now 41. 42. 42 through 4 loaded.
Wow.
41.
Wow.
Yeah.
What like for one, let's take it all the way back to Jamaica. Like, the thought process, like what made you say, you know what, while I'm on this earth, while I still have breath in my lungs, I am going to travel the world. I'm not going to worry about what people say, or don't go here, don't go there. What brought about this?
Well,
What brought about this?
Going to college, let me see. I started traveling at an early age. Sorry for the dog in the background.
Oh no, you good.
Okay. But I started traveling when I was young. But my curiosity grew as I went through college. I lived in a co-op with other people from all over the place. So from Turkey and parts of Asia. And that got me curious. I want to see where y'all live. So after graduating from college, I went to University of Michigan. I just started to explore the world. And some were groups, some were solo. It's not everybody. So, can't wait for others. So sometimes you just got to make the decision to go out and go.
That's it. That's it. You can have that coal up there, by the way. You can have
Okay.
that. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I
Uh-huh.
was so speaking of coal, coal, we can shift gears into a country that we both shared. I've noticed that you've been to Peru. So obviously you've been to Cusco. You have to go to Cusco to get to Machu Picchu. Listen, I'm from an area that's below sea level. I
Mm-hmm.
was miserable. I couldn't breathe. It was cold as hell.
Yeah.
I couldn't function even with the cocoa leaves. Like, so for those that don't know, Cusco's elevation is close to 12,000 feet above sea level. Okay, so the altitude is very high altitude. Is very hard to breathe. And cocoa leaves, you can buy the candy in Lima before you fly there, or you can buy the candy at the local markets when you get to Cusco, or you can actually buy the leaves and you put it in the tea, and that helps open up your chest. None of that was working for me. I'm just speaking for me. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it was in my mind, but it did not work for me. What I recommend is that I spent about 3 days in Cusco before I even decided to go to Machu Picchu. So I was ready. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Hmm.
will get you adjusted for Machu Picchu because Machu Picchu is a little less. It's about 10, yeah, a little less altitude than Cusco. So yeah,
Right.
I got
Right.
two. Yeah, I was chewing. I was drinking. Them candies was arms. I was just saying.
How was that experience in Peru? Because I honestly feel like
Uh-huh.
although Machu Picchu is one of the seven wonders of the world, I feel like it's not really traveled much, much by us. You know what I'm saying? That, like, what made you decide to go to Peru? Mine is seeing Machu Picchu, but what made you want to go there?
Well, I have it on the goal to see all seven wonders, modern wonders.
Okay,
Got me
okay,
price, so I go after the deal. So it was a good. I was like three, four, yeah, four change, whatever the price to get there. So what drew me there was the price of the ticket to stay, and then just it was an adventure. Getting to Machu Picchu itself, the train from the bus to the train,
yeah.
that was an adventure itself. But yeah, that's always wanted to experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Did you get a pot? I got
Ponch-
I got a poncho. So I'll give some people some advice, and I'll see if you agree. I'll see if you agree. I forgot the name of the town. Please excuse me. But before the town that you're waiting to get on the train,
Ole,
that
I'm up, but it starts with Ole.
yeah, it's a big long word. Like, I can't. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to slaughter it, but it's pretty much the checkpoint before you get to Peru Rail or Anchor Rail. And that little town, it has like local markets on both sides. You can buy ponchos from there. This is
Mhm.
not a knock at Cusco, but you're gonna get you can
Well,
get the same poncho for a way lesser price at the local market. In my opinion, that's what I noticed. At the local market.
how much do you spend over 40 or how?
No,
Or,
I didn't.
okay,
I spent about 25 USD.
yeah, that was about my
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
enough, not a thick one, but not too thick, because Peru weather is like very confusing. Because when I went to Machu Picchu, it was hot, so I took it off. It was hot. You know,
Yeah. What you just went? I went in February. What month did you go?
I just went previously this past July, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just went, and the seasons are opposite there, so it's but to be there summer.
Yeah, it was rainy season for me. That's why it was the cheapest. The cheapest low cost because it was rainy season. So.
Yep, yep.
Oh,
And for those that don't know, and maybe some people don't know, this list is always changing.
mm-hmm.
So we just brought up, guys that's listening, we just brought up the seven wonders of the world. And for those that don't know, like I said, you still have some of the old wonders, but the new list, the new list, right? Because it's always changing, is the Colosseum, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. You have Machu Picchu. You have
Petra.
the Petra in Jordan, and you have the Chichen Itza pyramid in Mexico. So that's the seven wonders of the world. For those that don't know. Yeah. So any more seven, since we're still on seven wonders of the world, any more that you've been to? I noticed that you went to the Colosseum and you seen Christ the Redeemer, right?
Yes. Yes.
And Machu
Chichen
Picchu. So that's three. Oh, you went to Mexico too. You seen that? So
Itza
that's four.
and 5. And then I also did Taj Mahal. So I
Yeah,
have
that's five. Wow.
seven.
You almost done.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
my
that's dope.
my goal is yeah, the 7 wonders and then 7 continents. So
Wow. So let's dive into some of them. So let's start off with the Colosseum. Like what was your thoughts about the Colosseum and being in Rome? Did you feel like, and I had a previous episode with a Perry Life. She lives in Italy.
okay.
And when you talk about Rome, was it highly highly touristy? Like when it came to just the culture there, how did the people treat you, and what you thought
Some
about the Colosseum?
some yeah. So if you're doing the Colosseum, it's going to be crowded because World Wonder. But it was seriously, I kind of hooked up with a local there and was like taking me through some back roads and stuff, seeing others
Oh, okay,
off the
yeah,
path. And then I kind of did my own thing with like taking the train and going to see, Florence and to Naples. People always bike past Naples and just go to the Amalfi Coast. So I wanted, because Naples has that bad rap. So I wanted to explore Naples but I love Rome. It was like seriously, you're in the history books. Like I stayed in an Airbnb right by the Colosseum, and it was just like wild. Like this is what we studied, and now you're like the real life museum.
yeah.
It's,
That's awesome. Like, and
Mhm,
the thing about the Coliseum that I like, it pretty much set the blueprint for what we look at as modern day stadiums, and the big pastime here is baseball and football, and just to see the history of that. I'm a history junkie.
mhm,
I love history. I love history. And I've seen you been to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You had a chance to see Christ the Redeemer. How
mhm.
was that? Because I know the locals there, they take it very seriously, and I think just a warning to some people that may go to the monument. Don't disrespect the monument. Those people take that very seriously.
So an American tourist got really blazing and climbed the steps at Chichen Itza, and the locals got at
Mm,
her. But yeah,
mm,
you got to keep in mind too that these are many spiritual places.
yes,
So
yes, yes. So you got two more on the list. You about to make it happen pretty soon.
working towards it. Yes.
So we're gonna switch gears, and you brought up about deals.
Hmm.
Let's dive into, because every traveler is different. Every traveler is different. How do you go about finding your deals? And you've been to so many countries.
Hmm.
Is it just are you more of a like, okay, I'm planning to go here, or do you just look at the map and say, hey, okay, bam, I'm gonna go here? Or is it more strategic? How do you travel? How do you find deals?
Combination, like for instance, with my goal being the 7 wonders and then contacts, I just look for deals within those, and then things I'm hooked up. Well, it's now going formally Scott's travel
Mhm.
deals. But flying all the sites, basically you name it, JetBlue, Delta, I'm like Qatar, I'm like on every airline's list. So they'll send out when they're having travel deals. Like
Mhm.
once I went to Boston for $22 one-way trip. JetBlue had a special. So,
Yep.
on their email list, you'll get the alerts. So it happens like that. And then people have group trips. I just did a group trip to South Africa. And so that you know, join things like that too. See, if people are going to places that I want to go, I'll hop on it.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. It's called Going now. That's what it's called.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. And I use it faithfully. I'm a premium. I've been a premium member for a long time
Mhm.
before it became a thing.
Yeah.
And I use it. Me personally, I use a little bit. I still use OG Google Flights, but it's a software. The back end software of Google Flights is called Ida.
Mhm.
Ida, and you can actually use that. It dives deeper into like the time of the flights, when the flight is going to go up. You can actually see it in real time.
Okay.
So it's pretty dope. And you being you being a person that's in corporate America. How do you go about prioritizing your travel? Like, do you kind of look at the holiday schedule and say, okay, I'm gonna put 2 days here. I'm gonna do three here. I'll have a week off. Like, how do you
Okay.
go about prioritizing?
Well, I break up the year, so quarterly. So I'll see, because I know like folks with kids like to take like the family vacation. So I'll look at staff, and that's one way to go about it. But for me, I tend to look. Okay, we have a holidays. I work for the city, so I gotta have unlimited. Get all the holidays, and I kind of
Hmm.
bank time. So with me, I'm real flexible. So I'll say a holiday weekend is coming up. Let me see if I can make that an extended long weekend. Or, how, work out. And, is it cheaper for me to fly out on a Thursday night or Friday morning? And then we take it from there. Just flexible. It's all about flexibility. And that's,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel
Mhm,
like the 9 to 5, all right. The people that's in corporate, you can truly utilize your PTO. I mean, in a very strategic way.
mhm,
Looking at your holiday schedule. Some companies' holidays are different, but for the most part, the main holidays are the same, and mapping around that and trying to figure that out. You
mhm.
know,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're coming up into Thanksgiving, November. You
yeah.
got holidays, you've got election, you've got veterans, you got Thanksgiving, so you've got can really
Hmm.
time.
Yep, definitely. Do you have clear? Or do you have TSA PreCheck, global entry?
Have it all.
You got the
Yes,
trifecta.
got a traffic.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my interview.
But coming back from your flight, you could have just stopped off in the office. Then you didn't. You could have just popped in
I
because.
tried when I came back. There was like I tried when I came back. I actually landed in Miami. Go figure. But yeah, I couldn't get an interview.
Oh.
Couldn't get an interview. And you brought up about South Africa.
Mhm.
How did it feel? I've never been to the motherland yet. I already know I'm gonna cry. I already know.
Mhm.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna cry.
Mhm.
And just that feeling of stepping back on that soil, no matter where it was, no matter what country it was. But how was that feeling? How was South Africa? And I seen you've been to other places too as well. You've been to Senegal. You've been to Nigeria.
Mhm.
I just want to dive deeper into those countries for a second, just so we can shine light on them.
Okay.
So how did you feel like just being there?
First being on African soil was Morocco. I cried. I actually kissed the ground. I was like, wow. In the motherland, definitely an out of my experience. I was like, wow, the land of my ancestors. And then Nigeria, because I did a DNA at 23andMe a few years back. So actually knowing that too. So slavery. Most of us are West
Yeah,
Africans.
yeah.
The bulk of my DNA is Nigeria. So being in Nigeria, now that over more than 50% of my DNA is Nigerian. So that
Mm.
was like home. And then Senegal was another place that really got to my heart. Yeah.
Do you
It's-
feel like do you feel like what do you think? This is gonna be a very heavy question
okay.
that I'm gonna dive into, but it just hit my mind. What do you think is stopping us besides the price? Okay, we know some of these destinations, the tickets, we
You can,
understand that,
but Eric,
but what you say?
that's how I ended up in Senegal. January 1st. A lot of people
Yeah,
they had flights from as low as $205.
wow,
Yeah,
wow,
look out for that. Yeah.
wow. I was gonna ask from like a perspective of what do you think stops us from wanting to travel to the motherland? Like you'll have people that go to Central and South, but
Europe.
never think about Europe, but never just skip over Africa. They'll go all the way to Thailand and
Mm-hmm.
just skip over Africa. Why? I don't understand it.
I think the pain of going back, touching that could, for some, what they call the door of no return, but returning is actually, it's definitely healing. I think
Hmm.
different perspective. But like you said, a lot of people don't want to touch on that. So,
Yeah,
so and there's a lot of pain there that keeps us from looking back. You know,
yeah. You brought up the door of no return. So what's the name of that island?
that was gory in Senegal.
Gory Island. How was that experience?
Now that was that was yeah. When you look out in that water, it's like this is the last. This was my ancestors' last view, and then it was slavery. You know,
Hmm.
that was. But like you said, we're not going back. When we make that connection, that full circle, like this is this is part of me. You know,
Hmm.
the healing. I came back. I bridged the gap. Through me, they are seeing their homeland again.
Yeah, definitely,
It was
definitely.
yeah.
Did you feel how did it feel to be uh the majority and not the minority in Africa?
Felt good. Well, coming from a Jamaica, I mean, that's the same as being home, as it's all the black skin. I don't know. I know it's a different feeling, kind of like being in Jamaica, being in the islands, than being in the
Hmm.
America. Not yeah, that lack of being the other, being stared at, just being comfortable, with family, So nobody's not really like looking at like, what are you doing here.
Yeah, yeah. I've never felt that
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. I think the only time I really felt I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I felt like where are my people
Mm-hmm.
was in El Salvador. And when I went to El Salvador, I stayed. My Airbnb was in San Salvador, and I honestly felt like I was the only black person there. I did not see
Yeah.
any other black person like
Mm-hmm.
ever. But just to shift gears, I've actually met a colleague of mine. I'll be getting her on real soon. She's actually an Afro Salvadorian. There actually is a town in a few towns in El Salvador that is us. But
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that at
Yeah.
all.
Of the Americas, El Salvador is one of the few that had very few Africans because a lot of them came over to like to build the churches and such.
Hmm.
But yeah, they have few, but we're everywhere. There's black people everywhere.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I seen you did the rainbow slide.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to go to El Tuca?
Uh, that is. Oh, no, I don't think I. I don't think so. No, I have to.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty dope. And then Naui Beach House is also pretty awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get to ride the horse. It's a day pass for 20 USD. It's absolutely awesome.
I went out there. I was there for the. I did do the Black Sand Beach. I didn't do the like the Molly Beach House. I actually went and did surf lessons. I
Ah,
went out
okay.
there.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Okay.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Just to switch it back to Senegal. This is just my opinion, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the African Renaissance Monument needs to be a seven wonder.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, it's absolutely beautiful. I haven't seen it in person, but it looks just from the images, it looks absolutely amazing.
It is. It definitely is. That's our definitely the eighth wonder. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So how do you go about like finding tours, finding excursions whenever you go to different countries? Any apps that you use, or you do more, you utilize more Google? How do you go about finding activities to do, when you're in the countries, and maybe name some of the top activities that you enjoy?
Okay.
And I know that might be hard to do because you've been to a lot of countries, but I guess a few in each country. What did you truly enjoy?
Okay. I'll do first with my search is actually using YouTube and Google, and then my favorite sites are Viator, TripAdvisor, and Get Your Guide.
Mm,
Like I type, and then I'll just see, what the locals. Usually I'll do Google to find like some local companies. Like for instance, I'll do Brazil. I went hang gliding there, and I use a local for that. And so
mm,
I try to do a lot. My favorite go tos is food, anything food related. So I'll do food tours, cooking classes. That's how you learn the culture. So I love visiting markets, and then you tap into that. I'm also an adventure lover. So whether it's surfing in El Salvador, Brazil, I love the hang gliding. And then what else? Zip line is fun. The zip lined in Panama and South Africa. And South Africa is, if you're an adventure lover, South Africa's for you. I swam with sharks, did shark cage diving, swam with snorkeling with seals. So it's paddleboarding, and runs the gamut. So kind of see what each country's known for, and then I'll go for that. That's like
What's been some of your, I guess your top you've been to a lot of countries, but like I'll give you like top 7. I normally say top 5, but I'll
awesome.
give you like let's go top 10 since you've been to
Oh,
40 plus. Let's
mhm.
go top 10 countries
Okay.
and hit on each one why.
Okay.
Why? Give me your top 10 countries.
Ooh, this is hard.
And it don't have to be in order.
No particular order, but
No
I'll say
particular order.
Japan for the food, the people, you know, uh, clean. Yes, love, 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 love Japan. Iceland, love the water, fresh water, beautiful waterfalls, and nature. On that,
That's that Bobby Boucher water
I would
off the
say
water.
clean, crisp and clean. The best. Loved Iceland. Let's see, Peru. It's not one. Peru. Like I said, Machu Picchu, and just getting there. A little tango. I'm gonna get that pronunciation together. But just Peru itself, Lima. Loved Lima, and touring the areas in Lima. It's beautiful. Food
And
there's
you had a
all.
chance to go to Wakachina, right?
And Wakachina.
I didn't get a chance to go. I didn't go. I didn't get a chance to go. I had 2 friends. Actually 3 colleagues of mine had a chance to go to Wakachina this year. I didn't. Honestly, it was so much to do in Lima.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, I was there for
yeah,
7 days. Needed good time because there's so many other things I wanted to do that I didn't get to do. So Peru will definitely get a visit again. But yeah, sandboarding and everything. Yes, the dunes, beautiful. So that's Peru. So Japan, Iceland, Peru, Italy. Love, love Italy. Again, food, simple, clean, free, a little bit of everything in Italy. Also loved El Salvador. It's beautiful. Guatemala. You don't touch on Guatemala, the people. And all these people, like people always say places not to go, but I find everywhere you go, there's going to be good people and
yeah.
warm, welcoming. So Guatemala is up top for me as well. Morocco, love Morocco. Nigeria, literally, I love all the countries.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna find something good in all of them. Brazil, oh my goodness, and Panama. Panama surprised me. I didn't think I'd love Panama.
Really?
Panama is a party vibe. The vibes, people. Panama is a vibe. Love.
Did you get a chance to see the Panama Canal while you was there?
Yes, I did a. Did a.
Yeah.
I went to the old city and the new city. Old Panama, but yeah, and even went over to the Caribbean side. That's where I went zip lining. But yeah, I want to see.
Okay. That's normally where we at on that side.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
so there's something I love them all.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But in the top, it'd be definitely Japan, Iceland, Peru, El Salvador, Guatemala, Morocco, and yeah, Italy. Loved Italy as well, and even France and England. Love England. England is kind of second home because I have a lot of family in England, so that's always
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Caribbean,
awesome.
yeah, you'll find a lot of Jamaicans over there, so I have a lot of family there. So England is home.
Okay. You have I never had a bad experience like with customs or anything.
Hmm.
Um any bad experience with customs? I know for me, the
Hmm.
only time I really had an issue, well, I was just shocked. I didn't do enough research, but I El Salvador was the first country, even though it wasn't that much, but you basically you got to pay like $12 to get a visa. I'm like, that shocked me. I was like, okay,
But that's
all
good.
right,
But that's through all four. You can use that for Guatemala. Use that for all the
okay. I did not know that. Did
yeah,
not know that.
that gets you through El Salvador. Yeah, Guatemala. Or it's the quadruple. Because and
Mm,
dollar. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like the fact that it's the currency is the same in El Salvador,
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes to like cultural, like the culture of these countries, like I've noticed, like you said, you've been to India, you've been to Morocco, that where it's a highly Muslim country, so it's a different type of cultural norm. How did you prepare yourself for that? Any place that you did, Google, or whether that be going on the actual the government website to get more information? How did you get information about proper attire for certain countries? Like when you was in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
going to certain landmarks, you probably had to dress a certain way. How did you learn that?
Google doing research. Research is
Yeah.
important, especially when you go into modest countries. You're Muslim. Yeah, definitely. Cultural cues. So a lot of research. So Google and YouTube, other YouTube videos, and just asking questions. The government sites are good, and just research.
Hmm.
And that was the biggest thing because definitely knowing when to cover up. We don't want to be stoned or anything, but yeah, research, do a lot of Google. That's our, I guess Google is the library of sorts.
It is, and ChatGPT is changing the game right now.
Hmm.
When it comes, they got software out there. You could just type a place in, and it'll spit out a itinerary for you. It's crazy.
But yeah, watch a lot of YouTube videos and see experiences of others.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely read
Yes.
up. You go.
So being from Jamaica, being a woman and being a woman of color, um, I've noticed most of your trips are
Yeah.
solo trips. And how did you get the courage to um venture off by yourself? And maybe we can dive into some of the myths of being a solo traveler, because when a lot of people look at me, or they may look at you and say, you going all the way over there by yourself?
Crazy.
Like, yeah, like what you doing? Like, this ain't what are you doing? So how did you get the
Yeah.
courage? How did you get the courage? And
Uh-huh.
then after you answer that, I'll dive into some of the myths, because I actually did research on this to ask you this. It's a few questions, few myths that I'm gonna throw out there to you, and I want to see your reaction.
Okay.
And then the third part of this complex question is, how do you protect yourself as a solo traveler? I don't think that's not talked about much.
Okay.
But it's simple things that you can do to protect yourself. But I'll let you share that with the people. So let's just start off with that first question, that first part. What gives you the courage to want to go by yourself? Travel in itself is an adventure,
There.
but being by yourself is a totally different experience. And being a woman, you know.
Mm-hmm. True. I don't know. God, I guess. Really didn't take too much. I guess kind of like how you touched it. You've been unique. Um, like I said, I got tired of waiting on folks. You
the,
know,
the text don't never make it. The text don't never make it to the trip.
but no, but some people things. I always said things happen, so people, things, come up. So you can, we can't control the masses, but
Hmm.
why not? Just sometimes you got to do it scared. So I remember just you want to see, because that was my goal, to see the world.
Hmm.
So what am I gonna do? Am I going to wait for others, or am I just going to and then go? Like I say, go with God. I'm covered, But using precautions as well. But no, just being bold and confident in when I go out, I'm not going totally. So I'm actually, when people know where I am, so usually have family members, friends who know have an my itinerary. They know the taxis that I'm taking, usually Uber or my drivers. Everything is written out, copies of
Hmm.
everything given to people, so they know how to track me. Okay, this is day 2. She should be here. If not, we've got a phone number or somebody to contact, and then that's part of preparation, and just being bold enough to actually, step out. And I find that when you're solo, you meet so many more people. You're open
Yeah,
to
definitely.
having conversations and that's to tap into that part of the safety measures is not totally telling people that you're solo. Never share where you stay in. Like, oh no, I got friends. I'm meeting up with somebody. They don't gotta know your
Yep.
business. You know,
Yep.
I don't even tell people I'm solo. You know,
Hmm.
and then usually a lot of the times when I'm booking tours, I'm booking like private tours or going with somebody that I can see vet them out. So see reviews and connections and that's usually part of the process as well. But really what gave me was courage was I'd have rather go and say that I did it than to have not done it.
Hmm.
And so that, stepping out on faith.
Yeah, you definitely stepped out on faith because it's one country in particular, and it's not a knock at the country because it's my favorite country. But you went to Colombia before Colombia became popular.
Or something.
Like before Cartagena became like one of the top touristic cities in all of South America. You went before that. How did you find about like how did you find information about Cartagena? Like I'm just curious because like it's now it's a big thing. It's all over YouTube. It's everywhere. But
Yeah.
back during the time that you went, I mean nobody was talking about Cartagena.
That's true.
Nobody was talking about Palenque, which is the
Mm,
first free town in the Americas for our people.
and Afro
Nobody talks about that.
Yes, everybody know my brother Afronata. He does a lot of the drawings and the palanque music. But that was actually my friend Tiffany. That was actually for her birthday trip. She wanted to come. We looked at places. So I have a friend that a friend group that we like traveled together for like wow. I'm aging myself now, but we friends 20 plus years. But yeah, used to travel just for like birthdays and special trips. So that's where she wanted to go for her birthday that year. I'm like, ooh,
Okay.
this black time we're like, let's go there. And so yeah, that's how we end up in Colombia.
I'm not gonna lie. Like my first solo trip, I
Uh-huh.
was scared as hell because the society paints the picture of fear. The news paints the picture of fear. Sometimes even social media paints a picture of fear. I have to share this. It's kind of getting off topic, but since it's travel, my heart goes out to the tourist that lost his life yesterday in Cartagena. He was in the Marbella neighborhood in Cartagena, and was approached by two men, and instead of giving them what they wanted, he tried to fight them, and
Oh,
unfortunately, he got shot. He got shot in the head.
oh,
So my heart goes out to his family, and
definitely.
you know, the reason why I brought that up is that people that are on the fence about traveling, they see stories like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? My best advice, and then I'll get you to add on to this. My best advice, especially in areas like that, is that I like to dress. They do have some content creators that they like to they're more fashion people. I'm not, but depending on where you go,
Mm-hmm.
something like this I would not wear in Colombia at all. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't wear a chain. I wouldn't wear anything. Even though I'm a YouTuber, I'm very careful at where I film. I pay attention to my environment, and I'm not saying that this guy didn't. But what I'm saying is that some precautions that you should take. Don't go down there wearing an Apple Watch on your wrist. Like, don't go down there wearing a chain. Like, try to blend in. Like, try to wear what they wear. And that's why I had brought that up about cultural norms.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to this comment that I wanted to make, because I think a lot of people they try to bring that westernized mentality into other areas of different places in the world, and it just doesn't resonate with the people, and
Mm-hmm.
you make yourself a target. And again, my heart goes out um to his family, and it's very unfortunate that it happened, but it does happen, yo. That's why I'm bringing it up. It does happen.
Well, we live in. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely use precautions, safety measures. You definitely don't want to stick out. And then And you got to realize too, a lot of the areas that you go to, especially like in the Indias, in the markets where it's a lot of poor areas, people that trying to survive, so they might, relish, and you'll have the beggars come to you. You got to read the area, read the room.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
A lot of people I know. I got a lot of friends that's Colombian and Costa Rican as well.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell by our shoes who we are
Mm-hmm.
before we even speak. They
Mm-hmm.
say we just look at your shoes. You rocking J's. You rocking the real J's. Like you're not from here. You know.
Yeah, people like me going back home to Jamaica, like people like, oh, far enough. They don't see foreign money. Like people, a lot of these places too. People think that they're looking at you because of your race. No, they're just seeing the money, the dollar
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
So that foreign money. That's what they're seeing. Yeah.
Some of the common myths about solo travel is, one, is dangerous, and you might say, well, Essen, why would you bring that up? And you just shared this story about this tourist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also you have to have some street smarts too, people. And I'm not saying if you didn't grow up in the street, that's fine, but they got movies out there you can watch. I don't know, but you need to have some type of street smarts. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to, especially like when you brought up about somebody asking you for something. If they're very persistent, they may be evaluating you, like checking to see if you're wearing something like this, or you got something expensive, or you just bought that iPhone 15, right? And you out there and you taking pictures and you're not paying attention to people looking at you, like, you just gotta be careful. That's a myth, is solo travel is dangerous. Another myth of solo travel is that solo travelers are introverted. I am one of the most extroverted people you would ever meet. I'm more extroverted out of the country than I am here. Here
Mm-hmm.
I'm a homebody. Overseas, I'm a totally different person. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me. What do you think of it?
Same. Loud. Same. Yeah, you'll hardly get me going outside unless I'm going out to like support football game or some friend's party. But definitely out the country. Um, yeah, we outside going out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
dear.
can't. I can't skip this. I'm shifting gears. I cannot skip this. Um, your first of all, like I told you at the beginning of the episode, your content is absolutely amazing. But it's two that I have to bring up that
Okay.
I need to get on the record. Okay,
Oh,
what made you? And I'm gonna say this in a way for the people that once I post your social handle and they actually go on your page, they're gonna say, "What the hell made you want to walk with lions?" So we about to dive into this. We're not ending this episode until we
uh,
get the thought process.
uh-huh.
Like, like, what made you want to do that? Were you afraid? Like, let's get it. Where was it? What country was it in? Like, let's dive into this, because that is awesome. But listen, before I do that,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to raise my insurance policy by at least $100,000. Okay, so my son can be good, because
Uh,
I'm good. But let's dive into that. Like,
all right.
first of all, you adventurous.
Yes. I'm a try.
That's you're an extreme traveler,
Yeah.
extreme, and in a good way, in a good way. So let's dive into it. What made you want to walk with lions? Like, what? How did you get?
I, first, I was in Senegal. That was south of Senegal. Yeah, that not too far from the Benin border, but yeah, it's that area. That's why going on the safari. You can view the house. I wanted to actually walk with the lion, and it wasn't. They're actually. First of all, you had three handlers there with me, and I know they're not going to be feeding on my on me, so that I was secure in the handlers being there in case anything should pop off. But they'd already eaten and everything. They were good, and you see they're unleashed and not sedated.
Yeah,
So, but it was
I
just
know. That's why I'm asking the question for everybody that got this question.
uh
Like, and then it's not one. It's not one. It's two, two lines.
yes, yes. Yes, lion and lioness. It was
Whew.
just you gotta remain calm. See, that sense you fair. like animals can sense your fear. So I was just calm, was a little back to the moment. I'm just going on a stroll. That's how I
So
thought.
how long did you walk with them? Like for how long?
That was on a morning walk, so that was about 25, 30 minutes.
30 minutes with walking with lions, and they never not once turned around and said, human, you look tasty.
No. First of all, those they feed them on like a diet of like donkey meat or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So they grew up on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they weren't gonna be feeding, and like I said, the handlers were there, like walking.
And they like, look, we got you.
Yeah. So that kind of put me at ease. So I'm like, yeah.
Were you nervous? Were you nervous about uh taking a photo and doing the video? Like, were you nervous that they would get irritated by your phone
Yeah.
or anything? Like,
The good thing about that was one of the handlers had the phone. So
okay.
so he had the phone. He was doing the video. So that's that. I think that kind of put them at comfort and ease, which even made me more comfortable. So I was like, okay, let me go not too close. Cause I want to step on them. I want to get to the tail. So I think it's like a dog. If you pull on the tail, that's when they'll get irritated at you. So I was
Yeah.
like, close to the tail, and then we'll walk. It'll be an easy breeze. And that was it. We stopped.
I'm gonna do it eventually. God say the same, but I'm probably not gonna touch him at all. I'm probably just gonna do what you did with your little walking stick, and that's a wrap. Like, I'm not. And I'm normally a person that explores. So like, just shifting gears for just a second, because there's so much. What intrigued me about you,
Mhm.
and I know that we're going to do many collaborations in the future, that we share a lot of different experiences. Like, you had a chance. We let me correct myself. We had a chance to hike the highest volcano in El Salvador. You hiked Santa Ana, and that was a challenge for me. It was 2.5 hour hike up, 2.5 hour hike down, but you
Mhm.
get the best views. It was worth it.
Yes,
It was,
definitely. That was
yeah,
it.
like,
Yeah, loved it. I got definitely because you see how people get up there. I didn't get the ice cream at the end. I was
yeah.
so
Oh no, I got it.
I was like, oh, it's my ice cream. So yeah, I got to go back up
Yeah,
there.
it's that midway point.
Mhm.
That midway point you get the ice cream. Yeah, I tried it.
I
Yep,
gotta go
it's
get.
good. Unfortunately, when I went,
Uh-huh.
uh, you barely could see the inside. I was kind of pissed, but you can't control Mother Nature.
Nah.
You couldn't see the inside; it was foggy, but it was still worth it.
Yeah, I felt that way going up to Table Mountain in South Africa. I wanted this clear view, but it was nothing but. I feel like I was in a movie. It was nothing but clouds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But,
That definitely was a challenge. So the reason why I brought that up, folks,
mhm.
and as much as I'm throwing jokes at Alicia, the point of the matter, the reason why I'm bringing this up is the fact that you need to just get out there and experience life. This is not a video game where you can hit reset. You got to live your life, and she's living. She's living, y'all. She is living. She is walking with lions, and then also she
Mhm.
has some amazing content out there. Let's shift gears. When you was in, I think Mexico, I believe, and if I'm wrong, correct me. But
Okay.
the underwater footage and the underwater pictures were absolutely amazing. What
Thank you.
made you decide to? Uh, how did you come about that? Like, hey, like, this would be dope to do an underwater photo shoot. Like, that's
Hmm.
that's different. Like, that's absolutely different. You look
Yeah.
like a mermaid. You look like you should be the cover of the Little Mermaid. Seriously, the pictures are absolutely amazing. So, what made you get in? What made you want to shift gears into doing something like that when you was there? Like, did you get any inspiration from anybody, or something that you always wanted to do, like a shoot, underwater shoot?
I always wanted to do that. I used to see women do. I saw a few women labor. Yeah, did the pregnancy shoot underwater, and then my friend Juliet, um, she did it when she went to Mexico, and I was like, these came out flawless. I was like, I'm in Mexico. I definitely have to do it underwater, and being a Scorpio baby, water sign. I was like, perfect. So,
Yeah, my son's a Scorpio too. Yeah. Shout out to Amir Kingston Williams, man. It's my boy, man. Turn 4 years old next month, y'all. Time slowed down.
what date?
November 20th.
Okay, I'm thinking I'm the
Yep.
fourth.
Yep. My little OG, man.
So, yeah, that
He
was
think he grown. He think he grown already.
yeah, usually do, yeah. But yeah, I was seeing that and I was like, let me do something different, unique. So it was unique. Not many people doing water photo shoots.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's definitely different. Where at in Mexico?
that's
Where at
actually
in Mexico?
by the Carmen.
All right, Playa del Carmen. Okay,
They went to one of the
okay,
cenotes.
which is like an hour away from Cancun,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's in
Right,
between. It's in between
and Cancun.
Cancun and Tulum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Believe it
Yeah.
or not, I've never been to Mexico, and I'm from Louisiana, and I live right there. Never been to Mexico. Maybe because it's so close, I don't want to go. I don't
Wait,
know.
I lived in Florida. I lived in Florida and never went to Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I had a family that was,
Uh-huh.
we used to go every year, once a year. Like,
Yeah. But
yeah.
when you live there, you don't really, But yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Man, that's awesome, y'all. She walking lines, y'all. She's taking underwater pictures in Mexico. She's been to 5 out of the 7 wonders of the world.
Mm.
Truly an inspiration. I
Hey.
want to touch. I want to touch on. Go back to the cultural norms. And so when you was there, did you already have, like, to some of these Muslim countries?
Mm-hmm.
Did you already have your attire already packed in your bag, or you waited till you got there to go to like vendors to get to get some of your clothing? Like, how did you go about doing it?
A little bit of both. So going there, I knew I wanted to bring shirt. I brought clothing that were modest. So nothing
Hmm.
that was feeling, my big chest and big, the African body. So yeah. So going there in preparation, my clothes were modest, nothing revealing. And then when I got, especially for the Taj Mahal, I brought a sari. That was a skirt with a sash. And so I got some stuff there. But going there,
Hmm.
a little bit of both.
That's the one that we didn't touch on.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts on the Taj Mahal? The beauty of it, the setup. Um, was it highly crowded? It doesn't seem that way. And I know. Reality
Mm-hmm.
versus social media is two different things. So just to get your perspective on the Taj Mahal, how was it? Some of the precautions, some of the things that they don't want you to do in certain areas of the palace.
Yes, because of the material, because beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I'll be visiting India again next year. Um, but it is just immaculate. Taj Mahal is definitely one of my favorite wonders. And that was
Mm.
it out of love. That's the era. So in certain when you're going in, they have you put on like the covering on your feet. So you're not touching floors because it's don't want you mess up the interiors. So feet are covered. But going there, I thought certain countries seeing black folk because they're not used to seeing black folk.
Yeah,
Taj, my Taj Mahal experience was an interesting one because that was the one I actually made a reel about it too because that was just like picture after picture. That's another thing because in a lot of these countries they're not used to seeing black folk. It's not that they're so they're curious. So
yeah.
everyone picture and stuff. So Taj Mahal that was enough, and then they're called Queen. So they're calling me Queen, and then we're just like taking pictures. But the Taj Mahal was beautiful. It's a massive complex, 7 different buildings, and a mosque. Hello, yeah, you also
Oh,
so
I'm
it's
here. I'm here.
a long complex, but that when you go through and you see the grand white, yeah, you're just like in awe. You're like, it's like pinch me, like I'm literally seeing this in person.
Yeah, and that's where the closest thing I had to the Taj Mahal
Mm-hmm.
was watching Aladdin in the whole New World.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see that in person. I want to see that in person. I do have a few friends in India.
Mm-hmm.
And did you get a chance to go to any other city in India, like New Delhi?
I went to
Um,
started out in Delhi, went
oh
around.
God, that's like the tech hub of India right now.
Yes, Delhi is crowded. If you're not used, you got used to set. You're gonna be the curry, all the scents are gonna be hitting you. Tuk tuks. Yeah, I went during March for Holi, and I'm going
Hmm.
back. Well, but yeah, the Delhi I got which is where Taj Mahal is, and Jaipur.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I have friends in New Delhi. I have
Yeah.
friends in New Delhi,
So
and mhm.
I went solo. So, like I said, it came with modest clothing and got a few pieces there. And then now when I'm going back, I'm actually going on a group trip with Win Collective. So I'm excited. So see the difference between going solo and going with a group.
Yeah, I'm about to start planning group trips myself. I've
Uh-huh.
always been a solo traveler, but I want people to experience some of
Hmm.
these things, and that's the reason why I'm glad I got you on, because although you're a solo traveler, you still are open to, you know what I'm saying, traveling with other people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard for the conversation to get out the group chat, you know. So it's great to, and can you share that group again, just for the women to know? Can you share that again? The
Okay.
name of the group?
The group that Win Collective. And
Gotcha, gotcha. So y'all heard that. So if y'all wanna get some group trips, and you're probably gonna see Alicia on a few of them, y'all can go ahead on and check that out. I
and
want to share. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm one of those who supports everybody. So I actually just did a group trip for South Africa. That was actually with Shakespeare Agency, and she's planning another group trip. If you're an adventure lover, she's got a little bit of culture, adventure, soft life for South Africa 2024. So you can check
Mm.
her out. Another Jamaican girl, Jamaican queen, I should say. But
It,
yeah.
it's the thing. It's the thing about Jamaicans. I know I told you this off the record, so I'll just throw it out. It's the
Mm.
thing about Jamaicans that it's not cockiness, y'all. Is they will let you know. That's where they're from. They will let you know when they cook their food.
Mhm.
No, nobody can cook better than this. They will let you know when they compete as athletes. Nobody is better than them, and I highly respect that. I respect that in the workforce, in corporate, in everywhere. So that tenacity, that drive, that ambition, like obviously,
Mhm.
I ran out of space on this paper, y'all. I was doing research on it. I ran out of space because of all the countries that she's been to, which is a good thing. That's absolutely amazing. That's amazing. So speaking of Jamaica and shifting it to, the Western culture, and just the diaspora as a whole. When I mention these statistics to you, and I want to get your thought process on what you think about them, is in America, only 49% of African Americans and minorities, and that's included, that's them together,
Mhm.
only make up 49% that travel domestically. And then if you talk about internationally, only 17% of African Americans and minorities travel internationally. Only 7.1% of African Americans have passports. When
Mhm.
I throw these statistics out there to you, what's your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. I'm currently in New York, and you have a lot of people who haven't left the state. So
Mhm.
New York is actually 5 boroughs. So you have people who haven't even go to the other borough. They'll stay. Certain people get comfortable in their zone. And not
Mhm.
branch out. So yeah, definitely not surprised. But hopefully, they'll see that, go explore. There's more than your community. I think that's a lot of us get stuck and get complacent, afraid,
Definitely.
afraid of change, and like it's the fear, scare, kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, what if I go out? What something happens to me? So that could be a lot of it too.
Yeah. I definitely agree, and I go back to the fear factor. I go back into um what the media portrays these other countries to be.
Hmm.
And I won't get into what's talking current, because I want to do more research, and I don't want to say anything that's not accurate. But
Hmm.
it's a lot going on in the East right now, the Middle East. And I do want to see on both sides. I do want to see, my heart goes out to just the situation that's happening, in Israel.
Lives.
And innocent lives are being in the middle of a controversy between two countries. So my heart goes out to both countries. I just wanted to bring that up. The last thing I want to share is your advice on a person that's on the fence, a person that um, is riding the fence on wanting to explore, whether that be domestically, whether that be internationally. what advice could you give to that person that's on that fence to say, you know what, this is my reasoning for why you should do it, and give, kind of give into like why people should want to explore and want to just be able to uh have an adventure, in an unknown and uncharted land. Like, what advice would you give that person that would listen to this episode right now today and say Alicia advice really gave me that motivation to want to leave? What advice would you give them? Some lasting advice.
To broaden your scope. Nothing like curiosity. You're curious about it. In order to answer and to actually see what's out there, you have to actually venture out there. So let's start with being close to home. You don't have to go far. You can go an hour, go next city over, next town over. Do a weekend trip. Test the water. Go out there, and you won't know until you try. And start close to home. Best way to do it.
Definitely. Y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first, guys. This has been an amazing episode. I hope y'all been taking notes, because she dropped so many gems in this episode. She's dropped so many different gems in this episode. I want y'all to make sure that you follow her. So how can people follow you? Go on and put out any information that you want to share with people on how they can follow you, how they can support you, and keep up with what you're doing.
Okay, you can reach out to me on either Instagram or YouTube. I'm Alicia the Wanderer. That's ALECIA _ the Wanderer. THEWANDERER.
That's it. And I'll have all the information in the show notes, guys. And Alicia, I really do appreciate you for having you on. And I look forward to collabing with you in the future on some other projects. Rather that be what you have or what I have going on. I'm really looking forward to that. I really do appreciate you getting on here. Like I said, your content is absolutely amazing. And guys, I really hope that you gain value from this episode, because we talked on a lot of different topics. But I pray that y'all gain value, but not only gain the value, go explore. Take that information and go explore. Go explore. So that's my message for y'all. And y'all know my motto. I'll see you at the top, because the bottom is just too crowded. Peace. Hey, I hope that you enjoyed the episode, because it definitely was dope to record it with that amazing guest. Tell a friend to tell a friend if you're really vibing with us. If you're feeling the episode and you really enjoyed it, make sure that you write a review on all the podcast platforms. Make sure that you follow The Melanated Traveler on Instagram. You can also check out the video podcast on my page at Aston R. Williams. And if you want to follow your boy, Aston R. Williams, at all social handles. Again, this is the Melanated Travelers podcast, and I'll see y'all at the top, because the bottom is just too crowded. Peace.